Welcome to the series Energy and Climate Change, brought to you by Vattenfall and Pen y Cymoedd Wind Farm Community Fund, presented by me, Aled Von Owen from Ynni Da. In this series, we are going to learn about electricity. Who are the people who made those important discoveries and how we produce our electricity today? We will learn more about how we use our electricity, how we're often very wasteful, and how we can save some energy at home and in school. In this series, we will also learn more about climate change, how we as humans are affecting the climate, and what effect that is having on nature. And in the final episode, we will learn more about the clean, green energy technology that we need to use in order to power our future. Now, throughout the series, you will see this logo. This will give you an opportunity to pause the video, consider or even research further before answering the questions. Question 1 is just a fun way just to see how much you already know about electricity. In your workbook, you will see 8 photographs. Now, those 8 photographs show ways possibly electricity is generated or made so that we can use it in our homes and in our schools. That's all you need to do is put a tick in the box next to the photographs that you think generate electricity that we can use in our homes and in our schools. But if you think they do not create or generate electricity that we can use in our homes and in our schools, then simply put a cross in the box. Okay, here we go. The first photograph is that of a pylon. Now, do electric pylons generate or make electricity that we can use in our homes or in our schools? Next, we have solar panels. Now, do solar panels generate electricity that we can use in our homes and in our schools? Next, we have a fireplace. Now, does the fireplace we have in our homes generate electricity that we can use in the home? This is using the power of water. Do we use water to create electricity that we can use in schools and in homes? Now, this building is known as a power station. Do power stations make electricity that we can use in homes and in our schools? Do batteries generate electricity that we can use in our homes and in our schools? Do wind turbines generate electricity that we use in homes and schools? And finally, lightning. Do we use the electricity in lightning to power our schools and our homes? When you're ready, that's all you need to do is put a tick next to the photographs that you think generate electricity for our homes, or put a cross next to those that do not generate electricity that we use in our homes and in our schools. Once you finish, we will go through the answers together. Remember, you can press pause and have a think, consider, or even look the answer up on the internet. Good luck, and I'll see you at the end. Okay, it's time for the answers. How do you think you've done? I'm sure you've done well. So if we look at the first photograph, which was of a pylon. Now, pylons do not generate electricity for our homes and our schools. They simply carry the electricity from where it's made to where it's used. Solar panels do generate electricity, and we will learn more about these throughout the series. Our fireplace in our homes does not generate electricity for the home. It does, however, give us heat and light. We do use the power of water to generate electricity. This is known as hydroelectricity, and we'll look further at this later on in the series. Power stations do generate electricity for our homes and our schools. And in fact, this is where we generate most of our electricity at the moment. Batteries do not generate electricity for our homes and our schools. They simply store electricity that we can use somewhere else or at another time. Wind turbines do generate electricity, and we will learn more about these further along in the series. And lightning, unfortunately, does not generate electricity for our homes and our schools. Although it is a type of electricity, it is not one that we can use to power buildings. Before we move on to our next quiz, let me tell you a little bit about the history of electricity. The first important discovery around electricity was made by a man called Benjamin Franklin. A long time ago, Benjamin Franklin was experimenting with a kite. And during a thunderstorm, he discovered that lightning, in fact, was a form of electricity. And as lightning struck his kite, he made one of the most important discoveries in the history of electricity. He went on to develop electric rods to try and capture the energy of lightning. The next person to make an important discovery around electricity was a man called Michael Faraday. Michael Faraday discovered that if you surrounded magnets with copper wires, as you turned the magnets, it created electricity in the copper wires. He went on to develop that idea further and built the world's first electric generator. Now, those generators are very, very similar to the ways we create electricity these days. The next big discovery was made by a man called Thomas Edison. This discovery changed the way we lit our homes and our buildings. But Thomas Edison was also the man who built the world's first power station in order to create electricity and send it out to all the homes and buildings so that we could use the electric bulb. In order to fully appreciate how electricity is used, we need to understand how it is made. Now, here's a little diagram that shows a simple power station. Now, all power stations are pretty much a big tank of water, and we heat that water up until it turns into steam. Now, that hot steam travels along pipes until it reaches what's known as a turbine. Now, you may be familiar with the word wind turbine, and that simply describes the fact that wind turns blades to create electricity. Now, in a power station, it is the steam from the hot water that turns the turbine. The turbine is connected to the generator. Now, those generators are made up of magnets and copper wires. And as the steam turns the turbine turns the magnets in the generator, which creates the electricity. And that electricity travels along cables and pylons until it reaches our homes and our schools. But what makes every power station different is how we heat the water. Now, in your groups, I'd like you to think of 4 ways that we could heat that water. This is 4 things that we could burn in order to heat the water. Have a quick discussion and list 4 different things that we burn. Now, 3 of these are known as fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are fuels that we get from the ground. We dig or we drill into the ground to get hold of that fuel. I will give you 2 minutes to think of 4 different fuels that we could burn in power stations to generate our electricity. Okay, it's time for the answers. The first fossil fuel that we burn in power stations is gas. The second form of fossil fuels that we burn in power stations is coal. The third fossil fuels we burn in power stations is oil. And the last form of fuel, which is not a fossil fuel, is biomass. And biomass is made up of wood or plants. Although these fuels are very, very useful and have created a lot of electricity for us throughout the years, unfortunately, they are no good for the planet. One of the main reasons that our climate is changing and our planet is getting warmer is the fact that we are burning far too much fossil fuels. So can you think of clean ways of creating electricity? Well, some of those ways are, of course, wind turbines, solar panels, and using the power of water. That is known as hydroelectricity. Now there is another form of power station which doesn't mean burning anything. This is known as nuclear power. Now this is slightly different to normal power stations. We rely on a chemical reaction between atoms. Those atoms create a lot of heat, and that heat is used to heat the water to turn into steam to turn our turbines and our generators. In this next quiz, you are going to try and research how our electricity is made in the UK. Open the page to quiz number 2, and on the top you will see a large pie chart. Now this pie chart has been cut into 8 different pieces. Now each piece of that pie chart represents a way that we generate electricity. So you will see the largest part is 37%, and our smallest part is only 1%. What you need to do is put the percentage number under each photograph. So for example, if you think that we burn a lot of coal to generate our electricity in the UK, you could place 37% under the picture of coal. Fill in each box with one of the numbers from the pie chart. Now, there is a little clue to help you along the way. When you see this symbol, this means that it's a clean, renewable energy form. Now, renewable energy means a way we can use it again and again. Those renewable sources are wind, solar, hydroelectricity, and biomass. So for example, our first renewable energy segment in the pie chart is 27%. So you should look for that logo and place 27% in either wind, solar, hydroelectricity or biomass. Complete the whole chart and we will look at the answers together. Okay, good luck. Okay, it's time for the answers. This was not an easy quiz, so well done for trying. The largest segment on our pie chart was 37%, and that represents our gas power stations. Next, we had 27%. And as you remember, this had a logo on it that meant it was one of the renewable energies. Therefore, 27% was our wind energy. Next on our chart was 16%. And 16% of our electricity is made by nuclear power. 10% of our electricity comes from biomass power. 3% of our electricity comes from hydroelectric. 3% also comes from burning coal. 2% of our electricity comes from solar panels. And only 1% of our electricity is made by burning oil. In this next quiz, we are going to look at power stations and energy farms across the United Kingdom. On your workbook, you will see a map, and on the map, you will see 6 red dots. Each one of those red dots is labelled A to F. And on the next page, you will see 6 power stations or energy farms. You will notice number 1 is Penycymoedd Wind Farm. What I'd like you to do is to guess or even research where you think Penycymoedd Wind Farm is located. Consider which one of those red dots is the location of the wind farm. Then write the letter on the page. So for example, if you think Penycymoedd Wind Farm is in location A, write A as your answer. Then go through all the power stations and put a letter next to each one. We will go through the answers together. Okay, good luck. Let's see how many you can get right. Okay, it's time for the answers. Penycymoedd Wind Farm is in location C. Dinorwig Hydroelectricity Power Station is in location E. Sizewell Nuclear Power Station is in location B. Shotwick Solar Energy Farm is in location F. Drax Biomass Power Station is in location A. Pembroke Gas Power Station is in location D. In quiz number 4, we're going to recap all we've learnt in this episode. You will need to complete the crossword with the clues that you were given on your workbook. 1 down, which form of power provides the United Kingdom with 27% of its electricity? 2 across, what is another word for using the power of water to create electricity? 3 down, what is the name given to the type of energy that can be used again and again? 4 down, this stores electricity so that we can use it at some other time. 5 across, burning this gives the UK 37% of its electricity. 6 across, this is the man who discovered that lightning was a form of electricity. 7 across, this is the name for the machine that generates electricity by turning magnets within copper wires. 8 across. This is the form of energy fuel that we get from mining and drilling in the ground. Use the clues in this video and those on your workbook to try and complete the crossword. Good luck! Okay, it's time for the answers. 1 down is wind. 2 across is hydro. 3 down is renewable. 4 down is battery. 5 across is gas. 6 across is Franklin. 7 across is generator. And 8 across is fossil. Well done you if you had all of those correct. Well, that brings us to the end of this episode. I hope you've enjoyed as much as me. In the next episode, we will look at how we use, waste, and how we can save electricity in our schools and in our homes. So until then, stay safe and I'll see you soon. Hwyl fawr!